Hello, and welcome to another edition of HCISD Spotlight. I'm Alex Ramirez, and with us today in the studio is Crystal Tait from Valley Baptist Medical Center, here to talk to us about added sugar in your diet.
Good morning or afternoon, whenever you're watching this. And yes, today we're going to talk about added sugar. Americans eat 3 times the amount of added sugar that we're supposed to in our diet. The American Heart Association says that women need to eat 6 teaspoons of added sugar a day and men 9. Does that sound like a lot? 6 teaspoons? It sounds like a lot. This is how much 6 teaspoons is. And this is added sugar. So obviously we're going to eat things in our diet that already have sugar in them, like fruit and milk has natural sugar, and that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about added sugar. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's 6 teaspoons of added sugar. That's a lot of sugar to have added into your diet. So we have things that are typically we think of that are sugary foods. Like, give me an example of something that's sugary that you would think of.
Cereal?
Cereal, yes, very good. Your typical breakfast cereal has 13 teaspoons of added sugar. 13. How many are you supposed to get as a woman?
6.
6. So you've already doubled your intake, okay? A regular soda, a 20 ounce of soda has 16 teaspoons of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. Okay, and then there, of course, there's the obvious things like donuts. Donuts have 4 teaspoons of sugar. I love me some donuts, especially the hot, warm ones, but I'm not gonna just eat one. I'm gonna eat 2 or 3, so I'm clearly over my level of sugar with that. Cookies, another example. 3 cookies have 3 teaspoons. Do you eat 3 cookies in one setting? How many would you eat?
Like 5.
5.
5 if they're
She's
good.
over. She's over. So we eat a lot of things that are obvious with sugar, but then there's a lot of hidden sugar, okay? For example, ketchup and barbecue sauce. They each have 2 teaspoons of sugar per serving, okay? So your ketchup, you just don't think about ketchup having sugar, but it does. It has that and that in one serving. Okay, so these are things that have sugar in it that you just don't think about, and they're easy to cut out. Okay, you can take your regular barbecue sauce and your regular ketchup, and then get some that is sugar-free. And if you're kind of freaked out that you might not like the taste, then do half and half. So do half regular barbecue sauce and half the sugar-free. Get kind of used to that taste, and then go for 3/4 sugar-free and only 1/4 with the sugar. Eventually the goal obviously is to be completely sugar-free with the extra added stuff, okay? Because it adds up so fast. I mean, we just talked about it. Another example is there was a lady who, after the Nutella was gone, because Nutella has 5 teaspoons of sugar per serving, she then put the Justin's hazelnut in it, which only has 2 teaspoons of sugar a serving. Her kids never even knew. So they're eating Justin's hazelnut, it's healthier, and they thought they were eating Nutella. But she was saving some sugar there. So you have to kind of trick your brain sometimes, okay? Another example, a candy bar. A regular candy bar, well, sure, we know that's sugary, right? Of course. How many teaspoons would you think a regular candy bar has in it?
5, 6.
Close. 7. 7. So if you do a bite-sized though one, you can still get your sugar fix, but it's only 1 teaspoon.
But you can only have 1.
But you can only have 1. You're gonna have to practice self-control. But the goal is to get your added sugar down. So we're not doing the 3 times as much as we need to, okay? So for example, what did you have for breakfast this morning? Whoops.
I had a rice cake with peanut butter and strawberries.
That's a good choice. Now you have to be careful with the peanut butter, because there are some peanut butters that have more sugar, and then there's peanut butters you can get no sugar. So just make sure you're looking at your labels. You always have to look at your labels. But now the strawberries wouldn't count because that's a natural sugar. There's no added sugar. But it brings up a good point. If you're drinking juice, like say apple juice, make sure you read that label, because a lot of times they put added sugar, which really makes no sense because apple juice is already sweet, right? So it's just little tricks that you can do throughout your day to decrease that amount of added sugar. And it all adds up. And sugar is linked to, obviously, diabetes. We all know that. But an increased sugar intake is also linked to cancer, high blood pressure, heart disease. So it's kind of a serious topic and something that we really need to get a handle on.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. That does it for this edition of HCISD Spotlight. Be sure to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Alex Ramirez.